Ashley's childhood was not one of warmth or safety. From the moment her mother died under mysterious and suspicious circumstances, her life became a prison within her own home. Her father and stepmother did not raise her with love. They treated her as though she were a mistake, an unwanted reminder of a past they wished to erase. Instead of comfort, Ashley grew up in a house filled with neglect, harsh words, and painful punishments. She was silenced, her cries ignored, her questions dismissed. Over time, she learned to bury her feelings deep inside, though the loneliness never left her. For years, Ashley thought this was her fate, that she would forever live under the shadow of cruelty. But fate had other plans. One day, while searching through old belongings, she uncovered something extraordinary. Hidden notes and carefully preserved files from her late grandmother. At first, they seemed like fragments of love-old words of comfort meant to remind Ashley that she was never truly alone. But as she read further, she realized they were much more. Her grandmother had left behind secrets, clues, and evidence that would shake Ashley's entire world. Behind picture frames, tucked into hidden compartments, were letters from her mother and grandmother, legal documents, and even recordings. Together, they painted a horrifying yet undeniable truth. Her inheritance, property, and security that should have been hers had been stolen. Her mother's death had not been a natural tragedy, but the result of a cold, deliberate plan. And worst of all, her father and stepmother had not only taken everything from her, but they had also built their lives on deception and cruelty, ensuring Ashley remained powerless. The discovery shattered her, but it also awakened her. For the first time, Ashley realized she had a weapon more powerful than their lies: the truth. With each note, each testimony, and each piece of evidence, her courage grew. Old teachers who had once noticed her pain came forward, adding their voices. Forgotten recordings revealed years of abuse that could no longer be denied. And her mother's letters, filled with both love and fear, became Ashley's guiding light. At first, was only a daughter's desperate attempt to reclaim her life and find justice for her mother. But as investigators pieced together the files, the case expanded far beyond Ashley's family. What she uncovered revealed not just personal betrayal, but also a vast web of corruption and cover-ups, where powerful people had silenced the truth for years. The lies her abusers told were not isolated, they were part of a pattern of systemic injustice. The case grew into a federal investigation, one that shook institutions and exposed how far her father and stepmother had gone to protect themselves. In the middle of this storm, Ashley faced another revelation that shook her very identity. The man she had called her father her entire life was not her true biological parent. Her real father, Ethan, had been kept from her through manipulation and deceit. When she finally met him, it was as though a missing piece of her soul had been restored. Unlike the man who had tormented her, Ethan welcomed her with unconditional love. He gave her not only a new family, but also the sense of belonging she had long been denied. Their reunion was not just about blood, it was about truth, healing, and reclaiming what had been stolen from her heart. Yet even as justice seemed near, darkness continued to follow her. Her stepmother, cunning and unrepentant, managed to escape custody with the help of an accomplice. She taunted Ashley with messages, hoping to break her spirit once more. But Ashley was no longer the silenced child they had controlled. She had faced too much, uncovered too many lies, and grown too strong to ever return to fear. Each threat only fueled her determination. She now stood armed with evidence, with allies, and with an unshakable will to protect herself and others. Ashley could have stopped there, satisfied with justice for herself and her mother. But she chose a higher path. Out of her pain, she built purpose, to honor the legacy of her mother and grandmother. She founded a foundation dedicated to protecting women and children who faced abuse, giving them the safety and voice she once lacked. Through this work, she transformed her suffering into hope for others, ensuring that the cycle of silence and cruelty would not continue unchallenged. Her journey was never without scars. The memories of abuse, the betrayal of her family, and the threats that lingered could not be erased. But Ashley carried them not as burdens, but as proof of her resilience. Each scar was a testament to survival, to endurance, and to the love that had guided her even in the darkest moments. Her grandmother's hidden letters, her mother's final words, and her father Ethan's embrace became her anchors, reminding her that truth, once uncovered, could never be buried again. In the end, Ashley's life became a story of transformation. She began as a silenced girl, trapped in cruelty and deception. She rose as a woman who exposed lies, faced the monsters of her past, and built something stronger than revenge: justice, compassion, and legacy. Her voice, once stolen, became a voice for many. And though shadows of her stepmother's hatred still loomed, Ashley walked forward with courage, carrying the love of those who came before her and the promise of a future she created. With her own strength, Ashley was no longer a victim. She was the survivor, the truth-bearer, and the protector. From her darkest pain, she carved a path of light not just for herself, but for others who needed it most.